Her power level is freaking its...
Welcome to the Mobile Temple Olympia. I'm your captain, Serrano.
It's Angel! I don't understand.
Why are you in a swimsuit?
Because we're in the water. Hey, put your clothes back on!
Sorry.
Hold on, is she the spy?
Uh-huh, that would be me.
As you know, the former Arashi-owned Seis are working with Jalal as part of Crime Sorcière, so we asked for their help with this.
There a reason you didn't call on Cobra?
We couldn't risk him hearing certain things that need to remain confidential.
I don't believe our paths have crossed since that infinity clock ordeal. It's so nice to see you all.
You do realize your cover was blown,
So you fled to Caracal Island.
which was promptly wiped out.
It's not my fault! I barely escaped alive, you know?
That's quite surprising coming from you.
Well, as it turns out, I owe Mest a little favor now. So I'll help you this time. But don't be fooled into thinking we're partners.
We appreciate it, Angel. I mean, Serrano.
Don't forget, I'm the one who killed Karen. She tested my nerves, too.
Calm down, Serrano.
Okay, fine.
I have a question. Does anyone know where this thing is taking us?
Straight to hell.
We're going to your master, Macorov.
Wait, you really know where they're keeping him?
Aren't I the best?
I must ask, Macorov, have you heard the chatter of late regarding Fairy Tale? To be quite honest, I do find it all shocking. But surely you expected that. No, you misunderstand. I'm not referring to the Guild. What I'm surprised by is your Emperor's disposition, because my preconceived notions led me to believe that he'd be more of a harsh dictator? Perhaps not those words exactly, but I think you get my drift. Always got diplomacy on your mind, eh? A year ago, I would never have imagined I'd be formally accepted as a guest of the Empire, much less given any chance to negotiate. Although, to be fair, I've only dealt with you as of yet.
His Majesty has been away from the castle for a long time indeed, indulging his wandering nature.
Yes, his agreeance to speak with an old man who has no influence struck me as unique.
I'd say your influence is evidenced by the value of the cards you hold.
You've told me his so-called shields are hot-tempered, but he can quell their aggression. That he could see a way forward without any blood being shed.
Her Majesty is nothing if not gracious.
I must say it's a stark contrast to his reputation throughout Ishgar as a fearsome warrior who conquered Alakatashi's guilds by force.
It's typical for those who make history to have many facets. After all, he is our ruler.
No matter how hard I try, Yajil, I just can't seem to beat you at a hand of Rajenka.
You should know better, Macorov. The key to winning the game is to hold on to the goddess.
Hmm?
His Majesty has returned!
I can't believe he's been gone a whole year!
Clear a path for Emperor Spriggan!
Hobby, speak of the devil.
I've waited so long for this.
It's as I've told you. Emperor Spriggan has been made aware of Ishkar's appeal for non-aggression, and when he gives his formal endorsement, his 12 shields will fall in line.
I'm overwhelmed.
Once all this is over, you'll be free to return home, I'm sure.
I'm ready for that. My children are waiting for me.
He has the gift of youthful radiance, something I haven't possessed in decades.
Sheriff?
Welcome home, Your Majesty. A pleasure.
Good to see you too, Invel. I realize this is sudden, but could you assemble the 12?
That will take time. If only I could predict the haphazard arrival of spring's first breeze, I could have already had them assembled here.
So I'm as capricious as the wind, am I?
Gale force. Or a dark cloud. No. More like a thunderstorm of death. But a spring breeze? That doesn't begin to capture the gravity.
He's like a desert.
That's what I'd say. A sandstorm bringing death far and wide over the land.
Temeria, Agil, what colorful imagery.
Have you two no manners? How dare you speak to His Majesty this way?
I do appreciate their candor.
Am I to take it your travels have ended, Your Majesty? You seem to be in very good spirits, my lord.
Suppose I am.
Does this mean you've found the answer you were looking for? About Ragnarok, that is.
In Ishgard, it's known as the Dragon King Festival.
So we're gonna battle!
Yes, that's great! Your Majesty, I am truly delighted to see you have returned home from your long journey safe and sound. No, heavens!
There's no reason for worry. Selim has been rather charitable these past few years.
Good to hear, my lord, but I find it best to exercise proper caution in the presence of such greatness. I believe you may be aware. An emissary all the way from the continent of Ishgard arrived while you were away.
I've heard, yes.
He is quite insistent on meeting with your Majesty as soon as possible, so I was hoping you'd humor him with an audience.
But why would he? You know there is a proper protocol for this. Has he filled out the paperwork?
I'd love to.
First, let me say it's an honor to meet you, Your Majesty.
I wish to speak with this man in private.
I confess I'm a bit puzzled regarding your true identity. Are you Emperor Spriggan, or are you Zareth?
They are one and the same. To those in Ishgard, I am Zareth. In Alakatasha, I am Spriggan. Though, if I had to choose between the two, I'd say Zareth. For 400 years, I wandered far and wide, searching to find my purpose for living in this world. But during that time, I also prepared for the Dragon King Festival. A few hundred years ago, I made a decision to create a country here in Alakatasha. It was a small fledgling thing at first, but gradually we absorbed one guild after another. Before too long, it had grown into the kind of vast amalgamation one might call an empire.
All of this was with the goal of obtaining the Lumen Histoire?
There's no use in trying to deceive me. Let's just call it by its official name. The supreme arcane magic that surpasses even the 3 grand fairy spells. Fairy Heart.
It's all making a lot more sense to me now. The Alvarez Empire is hell-bent on getting the Fairy Heart because of who you are.
Yes, that's true. But I've only recently decided that's what I truly want. Initially, I built this empire to be strong enough to go against Technologia, to kill him. The attempted invasion a decade ago was not my doing. As a master of your own guild, I'm sure you're familiar with unruly children. However, I made the decision to stop them, because I knew that it was not yet time.
So you're saying the Council's weapons, the Etherion cannon, and the face system weren't what turned you away?
Oh, they were factors, of course. Our side would have suffered heavy losses for sure. But I'm positive that the Alvarez Empire I've built today could confidently take on Ishgard as well as Technologia.
That's to say there's no room for negotiation?
Unfortunately, no. For the real Dragon King Festival is about to begin. The Black Wizard, the King of the Dragons, and you mortals. The time has come to decide who will live and who will die.
So your plan is to start a war?
No, an extermination.
I will not allow you to have our first master!
I'd be remiss if I didn't offer you my sincere gratitude. I truly appreciate you raising Natsu for me. So I'll put an end to your suffering quickly. Then I'll deliver your body unto Natsu himself. He'll be so angry. Perhaps it'll be enough to destroy me. Are there any last words you'd like me to pass along?
You hideous soul! You demon!
Close, old man. but the meaning of the name Spriggan is much more akin to hideous fairy.